I mean, at first it was a little overwhelming, I just got done playing. I mean, I was playing in high school against not very many fans, and then I run out and there's 55,000 in the bill. And, I mean, at first it was a little nerve wracking.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible.
Hello, and welcome to Week 3 of our 3-Mall Wildcat Weekly Player Spotlight. I'm your host, Cole Manbeck, and I am pleased to be joined today by K-State starting middle linebacker Austin Romaine, who had a tremendous game Saturday at Tulane, including the pivotal strip sack that led to a scoop and score by Jack Fabris for what proved to be the game-winning touchdown. Before we get into that and get started with Austin, we want to give a shout-out to Riverbank Brewing in Council Grove, as always, who is partnered with Wildcat NIL to support K-State athletes and to help us bring a K-State football player on the show each week. Riverbank's located in an awesome spot in historic Council Grove, just off Main Street in the Neosho River. I know all of the owners, and trust me when I say this, they put a ton of sweat equity into building an amazing brewery. It's a real special place. Riverbank brews their craft beers in-house, including the Mulligan, an IPA with aromas of wild grass, tangerine, and resin, with subtle flavors of stone fruit and a finish of strawberry. No matter your lie, you'll always need another drop of the Mulligan. One of my personal favorites, the Hoppy Rio Salado, a sea salt Mexican lager. Plus, Riverbank has several cocktails on their menu made with freshly squeezed lemonade they make in-house. My go-to is the Cowboy Lemonade made with whiskey and freshly squeezed lemonade. It is amazing. Go check out Riverbank, located just 35 minutes from Manhattan. If you can't make it to the game Friday evening but are in the Council Grove area, Riverbank will have the game on, including the TVs, on their huge outdoor covered patio that overlooks the Neosho River. You can enjoy a drink there while watching the Wildcats. Also open Saturday if you're looking for something to do this weekend, especially since K-State plays on Friday night. Venture on over to Council Grove, enjoy some beverages from Riverbank, watch some college football, walk around Council Grove, an awesome town that I love. And they've got beer to go, too, so you can pick some up, get it for your tailgate, and watch it either at your tailgate or any K-State home game or road game when you're in front of your TV as well, if you're not able to make it to Manhattan. Open Wednesday through Thursday from 4 to 10 p.m. and Friday and Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Go to riverbankbrewing.com for more info. Go support Riverbank Brewing, a terrific local-owned business by wonderful people who are also supporting K-State and Wildcat NIL, and enjoy some craft beers and freshly made cocktails in the beautiful Flint Hills. Austin, thank you so much for coming on with this, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Well, hey, I want to start here and we'll get to know you a little bit better in just a moment, but I know there was some cloud cover out there on Saturday in New Orleans, and it could have been a lot hotter than it actually was, something that Coach Kleiman had talked about heading into that game that entire week. But I'm still curious. It was still it was pretty humid out there, I imagine. I wasn't there, but sounds like the humidity was still pretty high. What was the recovery process for you and your teammates like after playing in that humidity, then turning around, having practice on Sunday, given you've got a tight turnaround with a Friday game this week?
Oh, yeah, it was yesterday we had our Monday stuff, or actually it was Sunday, sorry, Tuesday, but we had our Monday schedule thing going on, but we didn't really have much of a practice because we were all kind of pretty sore and beat up from the game. But yeah, it's just our coaches and support staff and stuff have been giving us a lot of extra time for recovery opportunities and putting in more time for recovery. So
what was that field like? I think I saw some of the guys commenting yesterday that they were pretty beat up. Turf burn, I think Austin Moore called it. Was the turf or the surface pretty rough there at Tulane?
Yeah, I thought it was really rough. I got a lot of turf burn in my arms and my legs too. It was I don't know, you got a lot of turf burn. I mean, Marquis Siegel has a lot of it too going on in his arms, but
what was that field? I know it had rained a lot on Friday, and then there was raining some that morning. Was it extra slick? Because I noticed a lot of guys slipping out there, by the way.
Yeah, at the beginning of the game, it was pretty slippery, and then it hadn't rained for a while as the game went on, so it dried up a lot. But at the beginning, the turf was real wet.
Well, before we dive into more details about the game on Saturday, I always like to help our listeners get to know the guys a little bit better. You're from Hillsboro, Missouri. What can you tell us about Hillsboro and your upbringing, Austin?
Hillsboro, it's a pretty smaller town. I'd say it's probably like 35 minutes south like St. Louis, Missouri, like downtown St. Louis. But yeah, it's a pretty small town and big football, like little town area. I mean, there's not much going on, but I mean, high school sports and stuff like that.
Well, look, I'm from a town of around 1,300 people, Austin, so a town called Rossville, Kansas, so I totally get it. You guys are still probably a decent amount bigger than us. Hey, let's go back to when you were being recruited out of high school. K-State offered you following a camp you attended and worked out at. What do you recall about that time, and did you get a sense an offer was coming from K-State after that camp performance?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really sure, like for sure. I obviously had to do really well in camp. But I had been talking to Coach Standard a lot and a lot of the coaching staff for probably like 6 months before I attended that camp. I had been talking to him for a while, and then it was just a matter of like Coach Standard wanted to come see me wanted to see me in person, doing drills and things like that. And yeah, that camp I went to it. I actually had a pretty good showing at the camp. I felt like I did really well, and then after the camp, Coach Kleiman called me into the tunnel that we run out on, and he offered me a scholarship, which I was pretty stoked about.
I was going to say, what was your reaction when you got that? Because that was your only Power 4. Well, back then it was Power 5, right? But it was your only Power 4 offer, right, when you got that?
Yeah, that was my only Power 4 offer at that time, or actually in general. But yeah, I was really excited. I looked at my dad. I almost wanted to just tell him I wanted to commit on the spot. I just hadn't been on campus enough. I'd really only been there for a small, like, unofficial visit for a couple hours, so I didn't commit on the spot, obviously, but wanted to.
Yeah. Did you feel overlooked, though, coming out of high school? And does that maybe add a chip on your shoulder that Power 4 schools outside of K-State didn't give you an offer?
Yeah, I like, personally, I think I was overlooked a lot. I feel like I could have gotten offers from anywhere and competed with anyone. I think that's kind of just the smaller school I was at. It was 4A and didn't really know anything about where I was at and like the teams we were playing. But for me, yeah, it kind of puts a chip on my shoulder every day knowing that.
Well, now you had, correct me if I'm wrong, Austin, you had a ton of Ivy League offers too, right?
Yeah.
Coming out of high school, Yale, Harvard, Penn, Columbia, way smarter than me, man. We just had Toby on and majoring in construction management. Kobe did, and I'm just sitting here with a journalism degree and my background from Kansas State. So, I mean, tell me about that. Like, if you didn't end up at K-State, like K-State didn't offer you, where do you think you would have ended up? Would it have been Ivy League?
Honestly, I wasn't really looking to go play Ivy League. I had those offers, which is really cool, but I mean, I really wanted to have a chance to go play in like a college football playoff or play in a like bowl game and stuff like that, which the Ivy Leagues don't really do much. And then again, they don't offer like full ride scholarships.
Right.
It's more of like based off like financial stuff that you still pay. And so I wasn't really looking to go to Ivy League for multiple reasons like that. But what's actually crazy is I went on a visit to Tulane, and that was kind of the place I was going to go to. Like, it was between, I went Tulane and Ohio Bearcats, and then I got the offer here. So that was kind of my top 3 schools.
I was going to say, I thought I saw when I was looking at your recruiting profile, it said a Tulane offer on there. So I thought that was probably pretty unique for you to go down there and then make such big plays in New Orleans on Saturday. Pretty unique. And then I think I saw you had a Rice offer too, another, prestigious academic institution, man. You're making me feel bad about myself. You guys are too smart for me. What did you like about K-State though, the most when you decided to commit?
I just kind of, it really felt like home here. Going on, like when I went on my visit, and all the players are just welcoming and the coaches are just so welcoming. I mean, it's not like they're walking by you without saying what's up, and you're like a recruit in high school. It's pretty cool to just know you kind of feel at home here. And then also I just felt like, Coach Kleiman talks about it a lot, but it's true. The culture here, I don't think it's like any other place. Those are kind of the main reasons why I chose it. And then also it's not crazy far from home. It's 6 hours. It's still, I can drive home, but at the same time, I'm not going to go home a lot, but
Yeah. Now, you graduated high school early, I believe, right, Austin?
Yeah.
You were on campus for spring ball prior to the 2023 season. So my co-host and I, we were at Big 12 Media Days in Dallas the summer of 2023, and we always ask all the players about a young guy not being talked about enough who maybe could surprise. And your name was the one most consistently brought up back then last year at Big 12 Media Days. And we were like, man, he's just a true freshman. That's a lot to put on his plate. When you committed to K-State, did you think there was a chance you'd play early, or did you maybe anticipate redshirting?
When I committed, I kind of figured I was going to redshirt. But at the same time, I knew with like where I was at, I could have by coming early, I could have a chance at getting on the field and playing some special teams and stuff like that, which that was my main goal. I just didn't see a point in like staying in high school and going through classes when I could just get a jump start on everybody else, graduating early. But yeah, overall, I anticipated I was going to redshirt at like when I first got there, and then kind of as like fall camp and things went on and got into the first week, and I was playing on 3 of the 4 special teams in week 1. I kept excelling in that, and then my role got bigger.
Well, it's, as you know, pretty rare for a true freshman to play, particularly at middle linebacker. We have so much responsibility, and you start 5 games. It's the most by a true freshman defender at K-State since Duke Shelley at cornerback started 7 in 2015. Most starts by a true freshman linebacker, Austin, since at least 1988 at K-State. What was the experience like starting games in big-time college football as a true freshman?
At first it was a little overwhelming, I just got done playing. I was playing in high school against not very many fans, and then I run out and there's 55,000 in the bill. And at first it was a little nerve-wracking, being the starting guy, but the guys like Deuce Green and Austin Moore and Dez, they really helped me out with like my preparation and just being ready and not focusing on any of the fans or any of that, just focusing on the game I've played since I was young. So that was just a big thing for me.
What was the biggest takeaway or lesson learned from your freshman season?
I think the biggest thing was probably take care of my body a lot more. I was taking care of my body, getting them out, but it obviously it wasn't enough. There's never going to be enough recovery to do. I think my body kind of wore down a lot last year towards the end of it, and then at the same time mentally, because high school we didn't have a 12-week season, and then we go into bowl prep, and then it's not even 12 weeks because we start a month before that with fall camp every single day. So I just think my mind and my body wore down. I think this year, that's the big thing I kind of trained in the offseason was knowing what I'm getting into. I've been through it, and just preparing better. And
No, that's a great answer. And you broke your hand last year late in the season too, right? What was it like? You were playing with a club on your hand. How challenging did that make things?
It made it even a little harder because not being able to block your struck as well, having a cast on my hand and getting off blocks, it made it pretty tough.
Sure. Well, as we look into this season, both offensive you faced have ran quite a bit of pre-snap motion, and I know KU last season ran, I think, maybe the most pre-snap motion of any team in college football. I'm just curious from a middle linebacker's perspective, what type of challenges does that put on a defense, and maybe you specifically?
Just pre-snap motions, I think, just noticing guys with motion demeanor and who's looking inside your quarterback, and to get a head start and kind of going through like my pre-snap process of, okay, I'm here, but I'm not going to stay here and be keying the same thing. Like seeing a guy's motion demeanor, if he motions, where am I going and stuff like that. And I just think knowing, and the pre-snap process is big, just knowing where I'm going and the communication I have to get, like with the other linebackers and even the D line, just when the motion comes. I just think that's really big with, the pre-snap process, basically.
let's get to the fun stuff. Austin, you got 2 sacks on Saturday. You had 6 solo tackles. You made the game-changing play Saturday when you sacked Tulane quarterback Darian Minza, stripped him, led to a scoop and score. Take me through what you recall about that play.
I mean, I was pretty. I mean, I was stoked after that play. I was so excited. I remember we ran a blitz and I got off the guard and I was like, oh, I'm getting free, and then just saw a quarterback with not very good ball security, and I was just like, I just tried punching it out. I honestly didn't know he dropped it at first until I saw everybody running down the field, so I got up excited. But
well, I was going to say, so you were going for the strip there. I thought you were, by the way you punched at it. You noticed that he had it loose out there. I mean, and I'll be honest, Austin, watching it live, I was just happy. It looked like you were going to get him for like a 15-yard loss and knock him out of field goal range. And then you punched that ball out. And then in the blink of an eye, Fabris is going the other way. It was just quite a roller coaster, an exciting roller coaster. It was an awesome play. And, congratulations on making that play. My guy, Parker on patreon.com/3maw mentioned this to me, Austin, and I'm not sure you're aware of this. You very well may not be. He informed me this morning that you currently grade out as the second best linebacker in college football this season, according to Pro Football Focus, with a grade of 89.6. Only Jay Higgins of Iowa ranks higher than you in all of FBS football. Did you know that? What's your reaction?
I had no idea about that, but I mean, my reaction, it's going to stay the same. It's only week 3, so just going to keep grinding. Maybe I could be the second ranked or the first ranked by week 12.
That would be awesome. That would be what a special year for you, and just year 2. What's an area you feel like you've improved the most from year 1 to year 2?
Like I said earlier, the pre-snap process, I think I've improved on a lot. Just knowing what plays are going to come out of formations and more of a mental side of things. I think I've improved a lot. Just know where I'm going to be, where my fits are, and that's the main thing I think I've improved on.
I wasn't sure on this, Austin. I hadn't noticed in the games yet, but do you have a green dot on your helmet as one of the guys the coaches are communicating to with the new helmet technology?
Yeah, I do. I have the green dot. Mainly all of our Mike linebackers have the green dot.
So you're the guy responsible for communicating to the entire defense and are getting the audio coming through to that technology. Like what kind of challenges or preparation goes into having that responsibility of communicating to the entire defense?
It kind of makes it hard, or a little hard sometimes. Like after, we're in a long drive and you're kind of getting a little tired, and you still got to get the communication and yell it out to everybody, and then get lined up and get ready to play. I just think it speeds that up a lot. But Coach Kleinerman helps us out a lot with getting on us about everybody needs to echo it. So I get it to Austin and Dez, and then they get it out to the safeties. Safeties get it to the corners. So I think we do a good job of relaying it, so I don't have to sit there and yell out to the corners.
Sure. And it's Coach Kleinerman that's talking to you through that, right? He's the voice. Okay. Yeah. As you look back on film on Saturday, what stood out to things you guys did well as a defense and maybe some areas of improvement?
Obviously, we need to improve on the amount of explosive plays we gave up. We gave up way too many explosives in that first half, and we gave up a good amount in the second half. I think that's a really big thing we have to improve on. I thought overall, our run defense I didn't think was too bad. We played pretty good run defense. And then just our communication as a whole. We need to get better at communicating because Tulane did a lot of those shifts and motions. I just think the whole defense communicating with each other, saying who they got if we're in man or what kind of just communication stuff we're in, who we're keying. I think that's what we need to improve on the most.
Just a few more and we'll get you out of here, Austin. Were you surprised at how poised and composed Minza was as just a redshirt freshman quarterback for them? How much did that Tulane team impress you?
Yeah, they were pretty. They're a pretty good team. They're a really good team. Last 2 years they've been really well. So honestly, before the game, I mean, we weren't thinking down on them at all. We knew they were going to be a really good team, really good coach team, and it was just executing what we do, and we can get a win.
As we look ahead to this Friday night, obviously a huge matchup in Manhattan, one of only 2 top 25 ranked matchups in all of college football. You guys will have the spotlight on you playing under the lights at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, especially on a Friday night when there aren't a lot of games contending with you guys. And we know Arizona brings one of the best quarterback wide receiver combos in the country to Manhattan. Have you had a chance to watch much of them yet? We're recording this on Tuesday, obviously, and maybe what are some of the initial thoughts or challenges that you think they'll present?
Yeah, we've watched a lot of film on them already because we started our preparation on Sunday after the game. So Coach preached a lot about our sped up sped up preparation, and I mean, just kind of some looks. I think their offensive line's pretty good, especially that. I guess it'd be our right side. I think they're really good. They play really hard. Their quarterback and that wide receiver obviously are going to be good, but I think if we get them off their game and get them frustrated or the wide receiver frustrated with not getting the ball, I think we're going to be really good.
Couple more. What these are more fun ones, and I'm curious for your thoughts, Austin. What's the hardest offensive scheme you went up against thus far in your career at K-State?
Honestly, I think last year that I thought KU's a lot of shifts and stuff. I thought that was the toughest, which obviously they didn't run crazy amount of different plays and stuff. But I mean, it's just all the motions and just I wasn't quite ready for all of that. I felt like, so I thought that was the toughest, like just formational and offensive play wise.
I think we're all glad that Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator, has moved on to Penn State, Austin, because that was a tremendously challenging offense to face with all the pre-snap motion that they do. Hey, I've asked all the guys this, and even last year when we did this show, I asked all the guys this: who's the best trash talker on the defense?
Oh, honestly, I mean, you might not think this, but Austin Moore, I think he's
I tell you what, Austin, it's like. This comes through all the time. Everybody says this, and we're blindsided. We're not blindsided by it anymore. But last year, I thought some of the guys were messing with us last year when they said that. Though,
I mean, you are, because you wouldn't think he'd be much of a trash talker, and then you get into the game and you're like, is that Austin still talking? It's pretty funny.
He hides it pretty well. You wouldn't know when you're watching from the distance that he's out there talking trash. We had Austin on the show a couple of times, and we brought it up to him, gave him a little bit of a hard time about it. But that's hilarious that you guys just keep bringing up Austin Moore. I think the other guy, I think Toby said BJ Payne is
BJ does a lot too.
Yeah, he talks a lot as well. Let's see here. Do you have a sack celebration established yet, like we saw from Toby?
No, I don't really have one yet. Toby's obviously is one of a kind, but I don't have one yet. After my sacks, I was just so fired up. I was just yelling and screaming. I didn't really think of any sort of sack celebration.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be out there getting to a game like you did on Saturday, Austin, we're going to have to get you a sack celebration, my man.
I need to figure one out.
Yeah. We'll have to. Let's get one on Saturday. I want you work or Friday night. Let's work on that. See what you got in store on Friday night in Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Cannot wait to watch you play and your teammates play. I'll be there. We'll all be there. 3 Mall, watching you guys and cheering you on. It should be an electric atmosphere. Actually, the first top 20 matchup. This came from Scout Wildcat on Twitter. Moscow boys, Austin, and this will probably blow your mind. The first top 20 matchup in Manhattan and Bill Snyder Family Stadium since Auburn in 2014. So about a decade since 2 teams were ranked in the top 20. K-State was 22nd when they beat number 9 Oklahoma State in 2022. And when Texas came in 22, Texas was number 25. So the first top 20 matchup with Arizona coming in 18th and one of the polls, and you guys at 14th and another poll. So cannot wait for it, and cannot wait to watch you play. It was great talking to you, Austin, getting to know you a little bit better. Wish you and the team nothing but success the remainder of the season. A reminder for everybody, go check out and support Riverbank Brewing in Council Grove and Wildcat NIL at catsnil.com. For Nick Springer behind the scenes producing the show, and Austin for joining us, I'm Cole Manbeck signing off on our 3 Mall Wildcat Weekly Player Spotlight.